I'm getting 90 frames per second gaming at HDR on this handheld with 10 hours of battery life. And I'm playing games that this thing was never designed to run. 10 months ago, I thought I'd wasted 900 Canadian dollars on what felt like an overpriced paperweight. But then I discovered something that completely changed my perspective and my Steam Deck experience. When the Steam Deck OLED was announced back in 2023, I had no interest in buying it. Why would I spend $900 on an underpowered gaming PC with a tiny screen and only 4 hours of battery life when I have an excellent gaming PC at home? Well, life had different plans. I had to take an extended trip through Asia and I wanted to travel really light. So against my better judgment, I bought the Steam Deck OLED last November to see if it's good enough to take it with me as my primary computer. This is how I used the Steam Deck OLED at max performance while I was away from home. Spoiler alert, my first week with this device was absolutely miserable. Here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to stream my gaming PC and my PlayStation 5 to this Steam Deck so I could flawlessly pull and play my entire library anywhere in the world. Sounds simple, right? So, background. Before my trip, I decided to do some legwork and research. I have a gaming PC and a PlayStation 5. I wanted to be able to play them on the go, so naturally, I had to find a way to stream these games to my Steam Deck without any lag. Enter Chiaki for PS5 and Moonlight and Apollo for PC. Both are free, pretty straightforward, and easy to use. Chiaki is a streaming client for PlayStation on SteamOS. You need a paid PlayStation Plus account for this. The setup is very simple. You log in using your Sony PlayStation credentials and pair your console with the Steam Deck. Moonlight is a very popular client that's available on a variety of platforms. Setting up Moonlight is even easier than Chiaki. Download Apollo on your gaming PC and Moonlight on your Steam Deck. Install Apollo, set up a login, and go to the Pin tab. Then pair your Steam Deck via the Moonlight app. The goal was to make the experience work lag-free, stutter-free. The PC and PlayStation would stream content over Wi-Fi, and because I have a gigabit fiber internet at home, this should have been flawless, right? Instead, I got this. Stuttering, frame drops, input lag, so bad that I died 3 times falling in the same ditch in Hollow Knight. And this was at home, on my own Wi-Fi network. So I decided to test the worst case scenario. I took the deck and my phone to a remote location and tried streaming over 4G LTE. That was a torture. A completely unplayable, frustrating mess. I threw the deck back in its case and didn't touch it for a week. But I'm stubborn. And I'm making this video, so obviously I figured it out. Turns out there were 3 things that were killing my experience. And once I fixed them, everything changed. Solution 1, the Wi-Fi bug. Firstly, there is a bug in the Steam Deck OLED firmware that tanks your Wi-Fi connection every time you boot it up. I thought my internet had a problem, but it turns out it was the deck. Until Valve fixes it, there's no permanent fix, but there is a band-aid solution. Go to settings, turn off your Wi-Fi, and then turn it back on for an instant improvement. And it works every single time. Solution 2, hardware. Hardwire everything. The real game changer was hardwiring my PC and the PS5 with Ethernet cables to my router. Once I hardwired the 2 systems, my experience in the house was flawless. Every game, same settings, but now it's buttery smooth. No more deaths, no lag, no stuttering, no issues during combat. This is actually my preferred way of playing on the Steam Deck at home ever since I found this out. And finally, there's the nuclear option. You gotta buy the Steam Deck dock and you need Ethernet cables. This is the best possible solution to get the best, highest possible experience. This is how I was able to play at 4K 60 frames per second on my parents' 15-year-old TV. You won't experience any lag, which means you either have to dock the Steam Deck or you need a long Ethernet cable. It's easy to find Ethernet cables and adapters these days, so it's not a big problem. So now you might be thinking, why jump through all of these hoops? Just play games natively on the deck. Why? This changes everything. Firstly, you get insane battery life. Instead of 2 or 3 hours of intense gaming, I'm getting 8 to 10 hours of gaming via streaming. I had a 7-hour layover at an airport. The airport Wi-Fi sucked, so I was stuck playing at native performance. I was chained to a charge port for about 7 hours, playing at 45 FPS. If I had good internet, I could have streamed all the way through and still have more than 20% left in the tank, even after 7 hours of non-stop streaming. Point 2. Streaming makes the deck run much cooler. The fan runs on silent, you have an overall better experience. You can play at lower volume without the fan noise interrupting your experience. Point number 3, and this is my favorite point, you can play at locked frame rates. You get frame rates for the Steam Deck that you could never achieve natively. You get 1080p locked at 90 frames per second on PC and 60 frames per second locked on a PS5 when you stream. Games that would struggle to hit 30 FPS natively were now running smooth as hot knife through butter. And here's the kicker. HDR streaming actually works. Yes, SteamOS allows you to stream in HDR to the deck's OLED display, which means you're getting better visual quality than most TVs and monitors. This is genuinely insane. So, these are all the benefits, but how did it really work out? Exceptionally well. I was genuinely shocked at how well the internet experience is in the remote parts of India. Whenever I was traveling, I would use my phone as a hotspot and use that to connect to my deck. And even in the most remote, hilly Western Ghats of India, the Western Mountains, I was able to get a solid 90 frames per second while streaming at 800p. That is the native resolution of the deck. I played through entire games on long train rides. I finished my backlog during rainy days. And yeah, that ancient family heirloom TV became my 4K gaming setup. So how much did this cost? Well, the price of an Ethernet cable is about $10, an old Xbox controller I had, and the dock if you want a premium experience. So I paid about $60 for the dock. Compare that to buying a gaming laptop and lugging it around, or even worse, lugging around a gigantic gaming PC. So let's wrap it up. 10 months ago, I impulsively bought the Steam Deck and had some buyer's remorse. Now, I genuinely prefer it to gaming at my desk half of the time. I work at my desk all day, so I want to unwind relaxing on the couch, streaming games to the deck after work. If you've tried streaming games to your Steam Deck and given up because of lag or stuttering, try these fixes. I guarantee at least one of them will transform your experience. Let me know in the comments what games you'd like me to test with this setup if for further. Or if you want to see more Steam Deck optimization videos, hit the subscribe button. This channel is just getting started. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.